I will. Let's go. That's insane. This lady's insane.
You're gonna hurt me.
We're gonna kill my fucking dog, you fucking prick!
You're only supposed to have service dogs in here. They better get on their way.
Oh my God!
Come on, put it in. Come on.
You can have that in here, right? Sir.
Sir! Hey, my dog!
Put her down.
Children.
Yeah.
Ew, you weirdo! What the hell? Ew!
There's little kids over there.
Ew! Ah!
Wanna see my clitoris?
Ew! You weirdo!
Tonight we're going on a tour of the kind of behavior that's become normal in America. Violent behavior, antisocial behavior, threatening behavior, all completely normalized, all just accepted as how things are. And because we see the behavior through the medium of social media, a lot of people want to claim that it's not real, or that you're just biased because of your algorithm. No. This is behavior in the real, three-dimensional, physical world that you live in and that I live in. It's not just social media. There's way too much of it, way too often, to claim that this is an artifact of an algorithm. Nearly everything I'm going to show you tonight would have been unthinkable 20 years ago. No more than a handful of you out there watching and listening will have ever seen anything like how these people act during the past 20 years, before probably 15 years ago, certainly 10 years ago. Because this behavior would have been stopped by social shame, it would have been stopped by police, it would have been stopped by public shaming and pushback, and sometimes by a well-aimed backhand. When we're done with the tour, I'm going to tell you exactly what I think needs to happen. And some of you will probably say, he's been radicalized. No. People like me, and like many of you, have been awakened to what has always been true, just, and right. Fair warning, though. Some of you may find my positions uncomfortable, and you're going to want to call them extreme. They're not. They were not only sayable 20, 30, 40 years ago, they were fairly widely held, and by liberals too. We're going to go back to reality tonight on Disaffected, the show that looks at politics, culture, and relationships through a dark psychological lens. It is April 12th, 2026, and I'm Josh Slocum. Let's go with the cavalcade of perversion. Several times on this show, I have said that the real world, for at least 10 years, looks exactly like the parody, over-the-top dream world depicted by film director John Waters in his 1970s underground art films. Today's real world, the one you're in right now in America, surpasses the depravity and the filth of the glorification of criminality that Waters depicted in Female Trouble and Pink Flamingos. The drag queen Divine, who you see on your screen, eating a dog turd off the sidewalk. Yes, in real life in front of a camera. That capped off the movie Pink Flamingos. That's less extreme than the everyday behavior of people around the country. Another Waters movie, Female Trouble, follows Divine's character, Dawn Davenport, a teenage delinquent who quits school, gets knocked up, and abuses her daughter while she sits around all day getting fat, gorging on donuts. Dawn gets headhunted by a perverted couple with a camera who claim that her grotesque, morbidly obese appearance is beautiful. They encourage her to develop a life of crime so they can photograph her and her pals burglarizing houses and beating up passersby on the streets. One of her handlers says, "Crime and beauty, we feel them to be one." What's not real? countless people call the grotesque, the painful, and the destructive beautiful and authentic. You've watched perverts in pride parades inflate kiddie pools on the streets of major cities so that men walking by can piss in their mouths while children watch. You've seen mothers doll their sons up in drag queen whore outfits and put them on stages while grown men and suburban wide moms tip them as if they were strippers. And when that's done, they're wheeled into the operating room to get their breasts cut off and their testicles removed so that they can become their true selves. America feels crime and beauty to be one. But Black American culture is entirely deracinated. It's barely recognizable as human. It's the exact ooga booga savagery that we read about in the historical accounts of missionaries who described the primitive savages in Africa that they encountered as primitive savages. When we notice that it's ooga booga savagery, we get called racist and ethnocentric. Okay, yes and yes. They do it right out on the street. They kill white people because they're white, and still America tut-tuts when white people notice that it's functionally legal for blacks to kill us, steal from us, rape us, whatever they want. Millions of women have taken off their maternal masks in modern America to show the ravening Gorgon who lived underneath all along. They get glowing, beauty-lit spots on stages and television shows to talk about how they mutilate and psychologically abuse their children, and the audience claps for them. This is America 2026. Recognize that this is real, and please join those of us pushing back, or shut up and get out of the way. If you're not on board with bringing back civilization, you're the enemy. All right, that's a good place to stop monologuing for now and put the goods out on display. Here we go. Let's start with Jennifer Siebel Newsom. She is the wife of California Governor Gavin Newsom, and she likes to call herself not First Lady, but First Partner of California, because she's all about breaking down gender stereotypes. Except she isn't. She's a pretty, thin, blonde woman with expensive hair and makeup who knows that she is a pretty, thin, blonde woman with expensive hair and makeup. She uses it to get what she wants because it works for her. She has no intention of breaking down gender stereotypes. She's fully committed to living as a breathy, pretty, thin, blonde woman with all the power that gives her, and she rides her gender like a rodeo horse. What she is interested in is breaking down men and boys, starting with her sons.
I've given our boys dolls, even if they tear the head off. I've given them dolls to learn that care and caregiving is not just an activity that's reserved for women, but that it's also an activity that is a responsibility of men. What I've done with both my daughters and my sons is, if I'm reading a book and the protagonist is a male, I just change the he to a she. And it just normalizes for my sons in particular. I don't even just do it for my girls. I do it for my sons because I want them to see that women can be the center of a story, that women matter, that women are interesting. At the end of the day, we're all kind of like in this place in history maybe where we're recognizing what it is to ultimately deconstruct all these gender roles and ultimately be human, and that's exciting to me. So I'll just continue to kind of do my work and try and deconstruct all of these like limiting narratives about ultimately what it means to be human.
Okay, take in what you saw there. That is gleeful, sadistic hatred and degradation of her sons. She loves it. She's saying it with a cutesy smile and a lilt in her voice. That's what evil women do. That's why Joanne Rowling wrote the character Dolores Umbridge in Harry Potter. Her boys are in hell, absolute hell. Ask me how I know personally. And contemplate how any man in a position doing or saying what Jennifer just said Contemplate if he'd said that about his daughters. He'd be fired, shunned, and investigated immediately by Child Protective Services. This woman may be our next First Lady if Gavin Newsom wins the presidency. What I'm going to show you next would be unbelievable in any normal world you're used to. Jennifer is going to tell us how she killed her own sister, accidentally, we think, by running her over with a golf cart when Jennifer was 7, and then she's going to relate it to how mean we are to criminals that we put in prison.
I mean, I had to be very raw when we interviewed the young men who were juvenile offenders in San Quentin. I told them about my own loss, where I lost my older sister a few days before my 7th birthday, and I blamed myself for her death. And I share that because that they ultimately were accused of committing these violent crimes and sentenced for life. And I think it shocked them that this, blonde lady who was, interviewing them had a similar story, was perhaps in the wrong place at the wrong time, but wasn't punished the way they were, because clearly it was an accident, but theirs was probably an accident too. So anyway, I share that just because I guess, I quite enjoy spending time with people and being real and unmasking and showing them that it's safe to unmask themselves.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful. Showing them it's safe to unmask themselves. Unmask. She says, behind her mask. You've unmasked, darling. Just you didn't do it intentionally. Did you catch how she called the fact that she killed her own sister? She called it my loss. Did you notice how odd her affect was? How she was almost laughing? Murderers in prison were just in the wrong place at the wrong time, like little baby girl Jennifer. What they did was probably an accident, too. Makes me wonder if what she did to her sister was not, in fact, an accident, and it makes me wonder if she's trying to rehabilitate herself by projecting her false image of herself as goodness personified and projecting that onto convicted murderers. She's morally insane, and she wants murderers out on the street. You recall how black criminal DeCarlos Brown Jr. stabbed Ukrainian refugee Irina Zarutska to death on the Charlotte, North Carolina train on August 22, 2025. You recall how he casually got up, stabbed her, then sauntered away, dripping her blood. Sauntered. Very casually. You recall how the 5 black people sitting around Irina didn't move to help her as she slumped over and died, even though DeCarlos Brown had already walked away. They just sat there. I'm going to play that video again for you, and this is your warning if you need to turn away. This is not a censored video. It doesn't go to freeze frame when he stabs her. We're going to watch it, the real thing. Let's play it out. Yeah, that's right. Just walk away from her, buddy. Just walk away. Oh my. In case you didn't catch it, the audio isn't great. We have an overlapping video, just a few seconds of it, where you can hear DeCarlos Brown talking out loud. Let's see if you can hear what he says. Okay. If you, let's bring the sound down, please. Yeah, okay. What he was saying is, got that white girl, got that white girl. If you need to go back and check, you can rewind, put earbuds in, you'll hear it. You will recall that DeCarlos Brown Jr. was arrested and released 14 times before he murdered Irina Zarutska. And let's remember who let him out most recently, Magistrate Judge Teresa Stokes, who is director of operations at something called Second Chance Services, which is a drug rehab program. She's also a magistrate judge. I bet Miss Stokes agrees with Jennifer Newsom that DeCarlos Brown Jr. was in the wrong place at the wrong time and just had an accident. You won't be surprised, of course, to learn that DeCarlos Brown Jr., who has been alleged to be schizophrenic, which conveniently sets the stage for leniency, well, he's getting a little break in the legal process this week. DeCarlos Brown Jr. has been found, quote, incapable to proceed on the state murder charge brought against him in the killing of Ukrainian refugee Irina Zarutska. Now, fact checkers are making sure to try to keep a lid on this by reminding us that this is just temporary. It wasn't the start of the trial. It was just a hearing. He's not competent to proceed right now. But if he gets treatment, he might get better. And then he'll be competent to proceed. He's perfectly competent to get on the train, although he jumped the turnstile. He didn't pay his fare, naturally. He's perfectly competent to bring his knife along with him. He's perfectly competent to sit there and wait for an opportune moment, and then perfectly competent to murder that girl. Perfectly competent to stand up and saunter away talking about got that white girl, got that white girl. We have to deal with this lunacy directly. There is no sane reason to delay trying murderers because they are mentally incompetent. I don't care if he's schizophrenic. He was competent enough to get on a knife, kill a girl, and gloat about it. So what if he's schizophrenic and voices told him to do this? He's evil. Try him, convict him, and kill him. I don't care. I don't care if murderers are actually mentally retarded by a state-administered IQ test. I don't give a shit. People who murder other people, regardless of whether it's because they're stupid or they're insane, are evil and dangerous. And they need to be killed so that innocent people may live. They need to be treated like we treat rabid animals. Bang! You're dead. Since a 2002 Supreme Court decision, however, it is illegal to execute anyone the state deems mentally retarded, no matter what crime they've committed. Why? Why should we feed and house these people? Why should we do that knowing that a huge number of them are going to sit out their time and wait to be released early? They'll be sent back on the streets and they'll just do it again. Our justice system has been thoroughly feminized to the point where we have tied our own hands. We took away our own tools to protect ourselves, just like liberal white women who get raped and beaten by the poor downtrodden immigrants they invite into their homes because they just needed a break. This is feminine madness. Mercy to the violent is depraved cruelty to the innocent. This is not empathy. It's not even suicidal empathy. It is sadism and cruelty. Women and feminized men are psychopathically cruel to the actually innocent, including their own children. Longtime viewers of this show, thank you very much, may recall that for the first couple of years I didn't say very much about black people on this show, and I censored myself from what I really wanted to say about black culture. When I finally decided to speak honestly, I admitted this on my show, that I was getting over my white guilt. Well, I'm well over it. And I'd like to help you get over it too. I'd like to help everybody get over it. Do you want to live? Do you want to survive? Do you want to be able to go about town doing your business without an elevated risk of being robbed, mugged, raped, or killed by a black person? Then you need to get right with reality. A huge segment of American blacks hate white people with murderous rage. They want us dead, and they say it every single day. When black teenager Carmelo Anthony stabbed to death white teenager Austin Metcalf on April 2nd, 2025, we saw it. Carmelo killed Austin because Austin was white and had the temerity to tell Carmelo that he didn't have a right to be sitting under Austin's school's tent because he wasn't part of that school. So he killed him. He knifed him. With a knife that he brought with him to the track meet in his bag, which was undoubtedly there for him to steal shit. And when cops showed up on the scene and nabbed Carmelo, he straight up asked the police if what he did qualified for self-defense. Right there, while Austin Metcalf was bleeding out and dying. And you'll also recall this, his fundraiser. At last check, more than $596,000 raised. I would love a racial breakdown of the donors. I don't know whether to guess it's likely more black people or more white liberals. We did not take the O.J. Simpson verdict as the warning it was seriously enough. Today, it is functionally legal, de facto legal, for blacks to kill whites in America and get away with it. Now, aside from the murder rate part of their cohort, black women are even more out of control than the men. For decades, black women have been catered to, pandered, awarded with graduate degrees they couldn't earn in Mickey Mouse subjects that nobody should get a degree for. They say horrendous things about white people in public and on social media and suffer zero consequences. When you don't police for broken windows, eventually you get arson, kidnapping, and murder. That's where we are now in 2026. Look how comfortable this black woman is trying to murder a white man after she rear-ended his car. This is a tweet from an account named Ashley. Black woman rear-ends white dad and his 14-year-old son in a hit and run, then pulls a gun on them both. Dad fights back, disarms her, and knocks the violent thug out cold with one hip toss. Accidental shots fired, but justice is served on the spot. We've got the video.
I don't play with a motherfucking man. A man is not gonna play with me. You gonna play with me, bitch. 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 You gonna play with me, bitch, now. Now, cause one thing about it, I don't play with no mother. Don't touch me.
Tell police be here.
That is a competent man. Men are going to have to physically manhandle and control women like this. That's where we are. And yes, including hitting them when necessary. None of this should be happening. This is a result of whites pandering to black people since the 1960s. It's the result of men allowing women to step on our balls, take jobs they're not qualified for, lie about sexism, lie about being a victim while they abuse other people, children and men, get the government to put special quotas in place for them, invade every male institution, including the Boy Scouts, all while claiming that misogyny is at an all-time high. If misogyny there be in 2026, then every jot and tittle has been created by women. But you know what surprises me in a positive way? The vast majority of women who watch this show and who leave feedback, who write to me in any form, comments, private messages, emails, they're sane. They're normal. They understand that women have a nature and that the collective female id is out of control and can only be pulled back by strong men. So you're going to have to call those women misogynist too, because they're just as fucking sick of this shit as I am. Go ahead, tell them they're crazy for saying that their worst backstabbing bosses were always women. That the friends who betrayed them and hurt them the most were women. That no man has ever disrespected them the way other women have. And sane ladies out there, I'm in the same boat with gay men. I know how you feel. Everything I'm saying about women that you recognize for your own life goes double for me with gay men. With few exceptions, the most narcissistic, duplicitous, vain, dishonest, manipulative people in my life have been other gay men. Because most of us are functionally women with personality disorders. Oh no, there are no Band-Aids that I'm not ripping off tonight. Let's get back to the blacks. Here's the kind of thing black people, especially black women, can say with absolute impunity. You can be a national news anchor and say it with no consequences. Here's former MSNBC host Joy Reid on her podcast.
They can't fix the history they did. Their ancestors made this country into a slave hell. But they can clean it up now because they got the Smithsonian. They can get rid of all the slavery stuff. They got PragerU. They can lie about the history to the children. They can't originally invent anything more than they ever were able to invent good music. We black folk gave y'all country music, hip hop, R&B, jazz, rock and roll. They couldn't even invent that, but they have to call a white man the king. Because they couldn't make rock and roll. So they have to stamp the king on a man whose main song was stolen from an overweight black woman.
Okay. We need to clear up some bullshit here about how black people invented music. You've heard it all your life. No, Kevin, it's not in my script. It's just coming off the top of my head. I'm so pissed off. Rock and roll came from black people. Rock and roll came from the blues. White people stole all their music from black people. Bull fucking shit. You know where rock and roll comes from? You know where blues comes from? The only plausible connection we can make, the only point we can give them is the use of the 5-note pentatonic scale, which, by the way, was not solely invented in Africa. You find it in the Middle East. You find it in the Far East and East Asia. It's all over the world. But do you know where modern music came from, including jazz? It came from the 12-tone Western melodic and harmonic system, from the common practice period that we call classical music. It came from extremely white European men. Honest to God. So Joy Reid is talking about they can't invent anything. They is white people. We can't invent anything. We can't build anything. It's the most astonishing reversal of reality. Look around you at the world. Every black nation is third world and corrupt. Every bit of modern civilization they have came because white men brought it to them. White European men built the modern world. Fact, not opinion. Not a matter of interpretation. And everyone knows it, including Joy Reid. That's what animates us. You understand that, right? Underneath this narcissism is furious envy. Black people are seethingly jealous of white people. That is why they hate us. And the shit we put up with from cunts like Joy Reid, that would get her smacked in the mouth in a sane and just world. If a white man said that, he'd be off every platform immediately. There'd probably be some criminal charges. Now let's crawl even lower down on the class ladder and check in with our neighborhood shopper at a 7-Eleven recently.
Ridiculous with these fucking immigrants in America. Go back to your fucking country if you don't want to play nice with black people. Because black people built this shit. White people fucking gave us the money to fucking make this shit. But we built this shit. So you better watch your fucking asses. Because y'all niggas can't do nothing. When y'all fucking out in the fucking sun, y'all burn the fuck up. We could be out in the sun all fucking day and survive. Y'all can't be construction working all day building this shit with y'all high yellow ugly asses. Take your high yellow ugly asses and go on. Y'all look pale and ugly, y'all look like ghosts. I don't even think y'all real. And then y'all look pale and like Down syndrome and albinos. And I don't like albinos.
Hey, woman, pay.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck. Remember that.
Come on.
Do what you gotta do. Come on, nothing. Bitch, I ain't fucking with you. I ain't fucking you right now. I'm gonna have my husband fucking rape and kill you. He like the rape Pakistani and fucking little bitches like you. Take your ass, he gonna rip you in your ass and be very fucking rough, bring your ass down and fuck you in the ass till you bleed. Take your ugly gay ass on.
White people gave us the money, but we fucking built this shit. Did you? Did you, Brett Kwanda? Did you have built this shit? Listen to the racial hatred. Mocking white people for getting sunburns. And I'm supposed to be upset. Against this, I'm supposed to be upset and show it in public when someone puts shoe polish on their face and imitates you motherfuckers acting like actual minstrel monkeys. I'm supposed to be upset about that. Well, I'm not. Maybe I'll put on blackface for the show. How would you like that? This woman is acting like a monkey minstrel. She is the living embodiment of the worst black stereotypes. They're stereotypes because they're true. Then she says we look like we have Down syndrome. And then she says, I'm going to have my husband rape and kill you. I'm going to have him rape you till you bleed. Go on, bitch. Call Tyrone. Tell him I said come on. Cast your mind back to 2010. You have never seen behavior in public like this before. This is not normal, and we do not have to live this way. We are choosing to live this way. This is a choice we're making. Men, you are choosing to let women go wild and abuse you and abuse your children. You are letting them take you to the cleaners in divorce court. You are letting them take your jobs in quotas, with the imprimatur of the law. Are you ready to make a different choice yet? White people, you are choosing to allow black people to become literal angry apes who rape, murder, steal, and then blame it on you. Are you ready yet to make a different choice? Come back after the break because our tour is not over. We need to get our noses pushed in it over and over and over again until we get it.
Cause black people built this shit. White people fucking gave us the money to fucking make this shit. But we built this shit. I'm gonna have my husband fucking rape and kill you. We like the black Pakistani and fucking little bitches like you. Take your ass, he gonna rip you in your ass and be very fucking rough, bring your ass down and fuck you in the ass till you bleed. Take your ugly gay ass on.
Disaffected the show and Disaffected's host is powered by the delicious cured meat from BiltongUSA.com. What is biltong? Well, it's kind of like the fanciest, highest quality beef jerky you've ever had, except it isn't beef jerky. It's not ground up and extruded through a tube and wrapped in plastic and called a Slim Jim. It is actual slices of high quality beef that is cured in the South African way with vinegar and spices. And don't let the spice part put you off. It's more like herbs and spices. You can get very mild biltong, and you can get medium spicy, and you can get all the way up to ghost pepper and other stuff that will not pass my lips, but some of my friends like it. This stuff is wonderful. This is high quality nutrition. I eat it almost every single day. It's constantly coming to me in boxes. It's shipped with a nice cold little pouch in there, a little piece of, I guess it's not dry ice, but it comes with a little freezer pack in it so it stays fresh. Then you put it in your refrigerator. Wonderful stuff, no carbohydrates, high quality protein and animal meat and animal fat. Listen to me. And when you support BiltongUSA.com, you are supporting an immigrant family from South Africa who came over to the country legally the right way, the Van Vuren family. They do this all themselves, and they run a wonderful little grocery out of their facility as well. So when you buy from them, you're also helping disaffected. I'd love for you to give it a try. Go to BiltongUSA.com, and don't forget to use promo code Josh. That tells them that I sent you and that this advertising is worth their time, and you get a 10% discount off your order. If you've been considering booking a one-on-one coaching and consulting session with me, an hour by video, now is a really great time to do it. Once again, I am extending my tax season sale. I'm offering a great tax season discount. My normal rate is $125 an hour. I've lowered it to $75 an hour because we're all paying the tax man and it doesn't make anybody happy. So if I can make it a little easier for you, I'm happy to do so. That's going to run for one more week. Up until about, well, tax day. And any appointment that you book in the future, I'm getting really booked up this month, so take advantage now. But this will apply to any appointment in the future, even if we have to schedule out a couple of weeks. So obviously, I specialize in helping people with cluster B family members, people like that in their work circle, their academic circle, at church. But I also get a fair number of clients who just want to have an hour with somebody where they can talk about the things we talk about on the show that they see in their lives without somebody telling them that they're insane or worrying about being canceled. I enjoy those conversations too. I love helping with problems when I can, but I also just like the camaraderie. So if you want to book a session, go to my website, joshuaslocum.net. And if you don't see a time on my calendar that works for you, send me an email through the site. I'm happy to book time off my listed hours when I'm available. That's joshuaslocum.net. Welcome back to the part of the show that's about female evil. I know, which episode of Disaffected is not about female evil? We grew up being told that boys are made of snips and snails and puppy dog tails. Ew, boys are gross, right? Right? And girls are made of sugar and spice and everything nice. Perhaps if by sugar we mean a white crystalline substance called strychnine. As you know, I grew up with a mother who had narcissistic personality disorder, who was a resentful feminist, a welfare queen, and a manipulator who exploited her children. I was institutionalized at age 12. A few years later, when she reached that age, my sister was also institutionalized, and my brother wisely ran away after he saw this and stayed hidden until he was an adult so he couldn't be dragged back home. I have lived with female evil from birth, but I didn't recognize it as evil until 10 years ago at age 41, when I saw my mother's true face, the face of the psychopath, from behind her mask. Until that time, I had friends who would try to help me by pointing out that my mother abused me and took advantage of me. And I defended her when they said this. I had Stockholm syndrome. I said, quote, "My mother is a saint," to a friend who begged me not to yet again give my mother thousands of dollars I couldn't afford to pay off her back rent again. I know what it is to be a mental slave and a gelding. Millions of men today are mental slaves and geldings. When we wake up and take back our sovereignty, we are called misogynists. But that's just cluster B. That's just moral reversal. It's just projection. It's projecting one's own inner evil onto another so that one doesn't have to face who she is when she looks in the mirror. America and the West are fully suppressed by Stockholm syndrome. Female misbehavior is rampant. You see it every day on the streets. Women and teen girls dress like prostitutes and then accuse men of eye-raping them. They do it on purpose. Women on television mock and humiliate their husbands, and the audience laughs along with them. Women bring their sons onto Good Morning America and talk about how they're actually girls and how much genital removal surgery actually helped their daughters. And millions of allegedly normal mothers in TV land weep with joy. It's Jezebel spirit. The modern American woman's aspirational icon is the whore of Babylon. Female sexual depravity is off the charts in the modern West, and it always correlates with societal decline. I logged into Substack the other day. You should be following me on Substack. There's lots of content there that sometimes comes here, but there's lots of new content that doesn't end up here. I log on to Substack. This is a place I go not only to write my own stuff, but to read the people I subscribe to. There's really good writing on there. I log in, and the first thing I see is some slut dressed up in whore makeup, kneeling in front of somebody, talking about how we should read her article about how to make dick sucking fun for the sucker. I just have to stumble into this. I don't even need an OnlyFans account. Let me reintroduce you to a whore we featured on Disaffected a little while ago, a few episodes ago. Her name is Zoe Strimple, and she's a living embodiment of the narcissistic New Age slattern Idina Monsoon from the Brit sitcom Absolutely Fabulous. And remember, what this woman does is considered fit for print and media distribution, completely unremarkable. Her new book is out, Good Slut: How Money, Sex, and Power Set Women Free. And the cover image is 3 chili peppers arranged to look like a vagina. And here's her tweet announcing the publication date. Good Slut is out today. Some key takeaways. Careerism is good for women, even mothers and their children. Women do not generally belong behind the sink with a brood. A lot of evolutionary psychology is the bunk. Regressive, sexist, dumb. The female of the species is quite often the more promiscuous and more deadly, the only true thing she said. Attacking us should be dangerous. It should become standard for girls and women to be highly trained in martial arts. Well, she's making the rounds again. Here she is talking to Brendan O'Neill of Spiked Magazine, and the woman that she's going to be talking about in the clip you hear is named Bonnie Blue, an online prostitute who made a media sensation when she held a gang orgy in January 2025 and allowed 1,057 men to plow her in a 12-hour period. Take a look.
A lot of people think I'm going way too far when I say that Bonnie Blue is a sign of the health of our society. It's too much for everyone. But my reasoning isn't that what Bonnie Blue is doing is good. I mean, to be honest, I don't think it's a moral question. It's all consensual. It's not illegal. She's making money out of it. She's happy with it. They're happy with it. We may say it's terrible, and it probably is. I mean, I'd hate to do it myself. I'd hate anyone I know to do it, or any child of mine. But to have a society where Bonnie Blue can operate, where you can have someone who's such a folk devil, who can operate on the most screamingly shocking, offensive boundary of female sexual behavior, get away with it without being imprisoned, having her assets stripped, having laws changed to prevent her type from ever doing it again, stoned to death in the street. I think it's amazing because she's so offensive.
So a whore's depravity is a sign of our societal health. Fuck you, bitch. Oh yeah, you hate it. You think it's terrible. You wouldn't want your children to do it. But it's also good for society. It's amazing. The fact that she is so obscene and offensive is what makes it so amazing. Do you hear the forked devil tongue? You're listening to Cluster B moral derangement. It's indistinguishable from demonic possession. Show me how you distinguish it. Women can get away with saying anything at all, including threats and including calling for the murder of the president. This is just normal now. Do you know, I mean, you may have forgotten, and I couldn't blame you if you have. Do you know that it is actually illegal to call for the assassination of the president? Do you know that? It is. There's a crime on the books also called treason. When Americans try to go to a foreign power to kill our executive and destroy the White House, that is called treason. And it's punishable by death, ostensibly. But treason, like murder, is functionally legal now. So is inciting violence when women do it. Let's play this out.
Hey, Iran. I'm sick as a fucking dog. COVID's a bitch, right? We gave you the goddamn coordinates
certainly
to
are.
the White House. Anytime you fucking feel like it would be nice. I know that you lack the firepower to actually get it here to the US, but I'm sure there's somebody somewhere who can help you develop that technology right quick. Okay? Anytime. The man's goddamn insane. Do it. Because apparently we can't. We're counting on you.
This is what we get for allowing women to be completely out of control and above criticism for decades. This is what we get for endorsing girl bossery. This is what we get for going along with feminism's goal, which is female supremacy, and making women into a caricature of psychopathic men. I've learned a lot about female nature these 10 years, and it needs extremely hard guardrails. While I looked into this woman's past, and I have verified what I'm about to tell you, it's not a creation, it's actually real. Her name is Catherine Holmgren. And she is currently 42, and when she was 40, she was arrested in Hampton, Minnesota for drunk driving. Do we have that picture of her? Did we show it? I wasn't even looking. Yeah. Drunk driving. Surprise, surprise. Now, this next one we're going to play for you. I want you pay careful attention to what this woman in the next clip is wearing. Notice the Food and Wine badge on her shirt, and she's got another badge on her shirt that says Mommy-O. Notice how she punctuates her desire to see Trump dead by sticking a cylinder into the anus of the Trump dummy that she's beating on. She clearly wants him raped too. Here we go.
It is Monday morning, and you're still alive. Oh my God, what bullshit was that this weekend? What fucking bullshit was that this weekend? Pretending to go to the hospital, pretending. I mean, you gave us hope. Fuck. And it turns out you're still breathing. Fuck, man. Anyway, I made my video yesterday before I saw what you had said. We fucking hate you. We fucking hate you. We fucking hate you. So someone asked how many orange steaks I had. I used to have 5. Now I only have 3. I wonder where they went.
She needs the living shit beat out of her. Now, in this next one, the woman who's critiquing this video, she goes by the Twitter handle Jedediah Bila. She is not the villain here. She's just the messenger. She's critiquing the woman in the video we're about to see. And notice how she, too, has noticed that correcting women's obscene and violent behavior is called misogyny. She writes, men are, quote, misogynists if they correct women's bad behavior, but women can advocate for killing men, and that's female empowerment. So let's roll that.
I am so ready for the day when a large, massive, angry, raging mob of women these motherfucking men with their bare hands. I'm ready for the day. I'm willing to lead the charge. Okay, ladies? These men can't live in the world that we're building, which is why they need to be beaten and destroyed. Destroyed. I want to see some like June hold at the end of The Handmaid's Tale when she had that angry mob of women in the woods and they destroyed Fred Waterford.
Andrew Tate, think about the stuff that he said. The guy was banned everywhere, right? And what was he really talking about? Body count. He was talking about femininity. You know, he was labeled a misogynist. This woman is saying that she wants to kill and men with her bare hands. She wants to lead the charge. She wants them beaten, killed, destroyed. This video is still up.
Yeah, it is. This woman. We men can't live in the world you're building. Is that what you said, Tart? You can't build anything, woman. Everything you enjoy, this entire world, was built by men, including the slap on your face. Male chemists made that up for you. Another cluster B reversal. I pray you try this shit on a man who's decided to stop giving a fuck and that you get what's coming to you. I'm going to say something shocking. Surprise. To demonstrate a point. I'm going to say the male equivalent about her that she says about men. Imagine me saying, I hope you get held down by a group of drunk, rowdy frat men who bloody your face and rape you until you scream and die, bitch. Obviously, I don't mean that. But it's necessary to say it to illustrate the point. Can you hear now what she's saying? Is it clear enough now? This week, the Democrats were crowing about how they now enjoy a 5-2 liberal majority on the Wisconsin Supreme Court, and it's all women. Take a look at them. Look at them, featuring their big smiles like this was a quinceañera for hags. Is this judicial temperament? Is this judicial dignity? Notice the woman second from the right. She's the one who just won her judge election. Her name is Chris Taylor. Give you a couple pics of her. Thank you, Wisconsin. Thank you. Got another one, too. Headline, liberal judge cruises to victory in Wisconsin Supreme Court race. Look at her. Look at that pose. Look at her face. Look at her expression. Do you notice anything about the eyes? Do you suppose the way she holds her body and her face gives any clue about her temperament or character? If you've been watching this show, I'll bet you do. Now let's go north to Canada to see how women in politics are doing up there.
When the budget was released, I was shocked to find out that Prime Minister Carney is cutting $7 billion between Indigenous Services Canada and Crown Indigenous Relations. They provided $0 to deal with the ongoing genocide of MMIW G2S LGBTQIA+. This is abhorrent. This is callous. This is callous because the very Liberal government that has stripped organizations of life-sustaining funding has now committed $13 billion. $13 billion on military spending. Who is paying for it? Indigenous women across this country, Indigenous women, girls to us, LGBTQIA+, are not safe. In fact, rates of violence are increasing. And what is the Prime Minister doing? He is turning a blind eye on this violence. You know, the Prime Minister talks a lot about projects of national interest. What is in the national interest are the lives, safety, security, and dignity, not in the national interest of Indigenous women and girls to us LGBTQIA+. Is the Prime Minister okay having Indigenous women to us LGBTQIA+ family members and organization coming to Parliament begging time and time again to see our humanity? Is he okay with that? Well, clearly, with his behavior the other day, laughing at a woman from Grassy Narrows who is suffering from mercury poisoning, having to beg for an apology, is an example of how this Prime Minister has turned his back on Indigenous peoples, particularly Indigenous women and girls to us LGBTQIA+. And what does that look like? It looks like rates of violence increasing.
This is your one laughy moment of this show. Let me repeat the initialism for you. MMIWG2SLGBTQQIA+. plus. Do you want me to say it again? I'm sorry. I lost it when she said Grassy Narrows. That sounds like a prostitute drag name. I got you, Grassy Narrows, right here. Oh, Jesus. Take the wheel. Matt Walsh had this to say about it. For those who don't speak woke retard, I looked it up, and apparently MMIWG2SLGBTQQIA+ means missing and murdered Indigenous women, girls, and two-spirit, lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, questioning, intersex, and asexual. I swear to God, this is like when I'm doing vocal practice and I'm trying to breathe at the right place and I can't get through a note. So apparently, this is Matt again. So apparently they've added murdered people into the LGBT community. Murdered is now a queer identity. This is the kind of innovation we get from Canada. Oh, I just love it. All right. I've shown you all of this tonight to deliberately drag your nose through it because I want everyone of good faith to see how serious this problem is. We are in a very bad way as a society. We are in cultural collapse. It's not coming. We're already in cultural collapse. We've been in the acute phase for 10 years now. It's not getting better. It's getting worse. The end result of this is either that good men, mostly, but some sane women, either good men get really hard and ignore the tears and the crying, or we have blood and gore. We have a civil war. We have a French Revolution. There is no Clintonian third way. Before we go to the close of the show after the break, I want to give you a little bit of hope. This video is an example of what we Americans need to do. Witness a white girl who was assaulted by a black girl who decided not to take it, but instead to give it back tenfold.
Nobody wants that. Ooh! Ooh! Ooh!
Goddamn. Hey, get on him. Get on him. She getting on him.
That's how it's done.
Break it up. Break this shit up. Ooh. Come on. There we go.
All right. We're going to close out the show in a minute with my hard, radical prescription for what I think we need to do.
Oh my God, I'm gonna look so hot in these robes, and they're not even gonna know I'm not wearing panties.
This is the part where I ask you to put your money where my mouth is, because God knows we are not getting rich off YouTube ad share revenue sharing. We would love to have you support Disaffected because our budget comes almost entirely from you, our faithful, wonderful audience and listeners, and we appreciate you. Couple of ways that you can become a supporting member, and if you are a supporting member, you get a special invitation to our private, members-only Discord chat server full of about 400 really good people. I call them disaffectants. You know who you are. There's serious, there's funny, and the great thing about our Discord is there's 5% of the drama and bullshit that you get on any other social media. This is a wonderful group of people, and I would like to welcome you there. If you want to become a supporting member, there's two ways to do it. You can go to our Substack. That's at disaffectedpod.substack.com. buy a paid subscription. You'll get a welcome email back with an invitation into our Discord and my thanks. Or for the same content, we use a couple different platforms, works good for us. You can also do the same thing at subscribestar.com/disaffected, where supporting memberships start at just $5 a month. And I put the same content up on both places, and you do get content and essays there that don't show up on the show. So I think it's pretty good value for your money. If you don't want another subscription, that I understand too. One-off donations are gratefully accepted. Go to disaffected.com and click on support us, or look at the description underneath this video, and we put a direct link so that you can send us a one-off. You'll get a thank you email from me. And if you want to play old school U.S. Postal Service, I'm offering a sweetener. Right now, I've got a great big jar, a big mason jar full of sourdough starter. I'm going to spread it out, dry it, pulverize it, powder it up, and put it in little bags. If you would like some of Sour Slocum sourdough starter, send us a postcard, send us a donation, anything of your choice. Just please put a couple bucks in there to pay for envelopes and postage, or put a lot more in, to Disaffected Productions, 89 Main Street, Box 1027, Montpelier, Vermont, 05601. I get the mail myself, I read it myself, I respond to it myself. It does take a little time. We got a lot going on, so please forgive me if it takes 3 to 4 weeks for you to get your response, but you will get it. And thank you very much for your support. Let me tell you the most important foundational statement that anyone ever told me. This, I believe, is the key to mental and emotional freedom. It's the key to getting out from under the oppression of lies. And that statement comes at the end in a little while, so stay with me. I once asked my therapist, my old, conservative, old school, based, hard-ass therapist, what quality a person has to have to make real, significant progress past the destructive traits and attitudes left by real childhood trauma. And I asked him this. I asked him, why was I able to make real and substantial progress with some of my worst character traits? Why was I able to genuinely, and forgive me for the term, I know how it sounds, but there isn't any other word. Why was I able to start actually healing when my mother could not? I share some of my mother's traits. She didn't change at all. I did. Why do some people wake up to who they are and what the world really is, and some don't? I don't mean to imply that I've fixed everything in myself. I absolutely haven't, which is obvious to anyone who knows me, anyone who reads me, and anyone who watches the show. But I do mean making significant and meaningful progress. My therapist said that a quality a person has to have to be able to do this is the ability to tolerate hearing and then to accept that everything he thought he knew was wrong. Everything he thought he knew about human nature, about love, about family piety, about power, and about politics, about right and wrong. All of it was wrong. When he said that, it rocked me back in the moment because I could feel in my bones that it was true. And that applies to all humans, all people, not just people who've been through abusive families animated by narcissism. It works for anyone who's looking at the world and realizing that the explanations that they've believed all along, they don't work. They don't make sense. They don't explain anything. If I could suggest one practice for anyone who has this kind of thing on their mind, I would say do your best to make yourself be open to the possibility that you have been profoundly wrong. Profoundly wrong. Maybe even terrifyingly wrong. That's how I felt when this started to happen for me. Let it be a possibility that you were so badly misled, and let it be possible that something that you believe that feels like a sacred truth to you might in actual fact have been a lie all along. It's very difficult. But having been through it, I can confirm that you can go through it too, that you will survive, and that it is better on the other side. Today, I'm on the other side. Everything I thought I knew about power, love, family, loyalty, health, and morality was wrong. I was a walking set of inversions for the first 41 years of my life. Not anymore today. Imperfectly and with flaws, I am awake to the reality of the world, much more so than I ever was. Everything I was told was bigoted, misogynist, evil, hateful. Things I was told were loving, things that I was told were productive and responsible. All of that was the exact opposite. Yes, I have flipped my positions, almost all of them, a full 180 degrees. Affirmative. I am a hard conservative now. It took years. This was not an overnight reactive flip. You've seen people do that. That's not how it was for me. And from the people that I speak to who watch this show and who come to me for coaching and consulting, it's a years-long process for them too. It was hard, and I fought myself while it was happening. For years, I asked if I was becoming evil. If everything that happened in my family really was my fault, the way my mother told me it was, maybe it was. Was I actually becoming a woman-hating, racist KKK bigot? No. I was becoming a normal man. What I believe today gets me called radicalized. No, it's being normalized. The beliefs I hold today were considered within the range of normal for both men and women as recently as 40 years ago. And they comport with the average beliefs of Westerners for hundreds and hundreds of years. They go back even further than that in Europe. It has only been since the 20th century, and particularly since the 1960s, that we have inverted every single piece of wisdom our ancestors lived by. We moderns are mistaken, not our forebears. We departed from reality. They lived there. Imperfectly, yes. Sometimes in disgusting and exploitative ways. The past wasn't perfect, and neither were our great-grandparents. But in the main, no. It is us, we moderns, who are out of our ever-loving minds. Every week, people who watch this show tell me that they've finally been able to admit out loud how insane all of this is. They tell me in comments, they send me private messages, they talk to me in one-on-one coaching sessions. They see it too. I'm talking about you, loyal audience members. Thank you. You tell me this, and I appreciate hearing it. Hearing it from you, along with hearing your life experiences and how you got yourself out from under mental delusion and mental slavery, does me a world of good. I get as much from you as you tell me that you get from listening to me, and I thank you for that. 4 years ago, I bought a hatchet, a hand axe, at a hardware store because somebody needed to do a dirty job. My coworker and I had gone outside for a smoke break, and we found a dove with a broken neck flopping on the ground. She was writhing around with her head turned around backwards. She was alive and awake, and she was suffering. Her body was jerking with that autonomic motion, and she just wouldn't die. There was nothing that could be done to help that poor bird. There was no rescue outfit that can fix a broken spine. And I couldn't stand to see this dove suffer. I had never killed anything but a bug before. I'd never slaughtered my own livestock. I've never hit anyone in anger, with the exception of the one time I did hit my mother at 12 to stop her from menacing me. That's the one time. And this is kind of wimpy, I know. Anyone who grew up on a farm is already well used to this, but I had to work up my courage to do what I did. It made me kind of queasy to think about what I had to do. But the thought of letting that dove suffer made me sicker. So I cut her head off in one swipe, and I forced myself to look and not to turn away and to watch the body flail and flap around. It seemed to me that it was my moral duty to watch reality and see the consequences of what I had done. And what I did was the right thing. That hatchet now lives in my car in the trunk in case I come across another suffering animal. I'm asking you to pick up your own hatchet and do what needs to be done. Take it metaphorically, take it literally, as you like. I'm asking this of all of you. We imperfect people of good faith have to take this society back. And some of what we're going to have to do is ugly and hard. What do we have to do? This is what I think needs to happen. It needs to happen in America and the West if we're going to survive with anything like the republic we have now that is slipping away. Bring back capital punishment, much more capital punishment. We need to be killing convicted murderers, rapists, and child molesters, all of them. Yes, all of them need to be killed. Capital punishment horrified me for most of my life because I fell for the liberal pansy truism. Better that 1,000 guilty men go free than one innocent man be convicted. Fuck that. That's a reversal, and it's simply holding ourselves hostage. You rape, you murder, you fondle children, you abuse them, you die. None of us should be paying to feed and house people like that when they're just going to be released early to do it again to another innocent victim. Mercy for the evil is profound cruelty to the innocent. I want hanging, too. No lethal injection, no protocols to alleviate suffering. Hang them, or shoot them by firing squad. And I want them done in public, too. I want public executions back. I think it is salutary for the general population to see justice done, especially when it is ugly. Public executions throw the fear of God into people who may be considering what evil they can get away with. Well, I want them to see it, and I want them to tremble. Bring back corporal punishment, too. Yeah. Corporal punishment for violent criminals. And yes, in public. I want to see flogging. I want to see caning. Make it hurt until they scream. And as for the problem of out-of-control women, I don't know how to solve it, but this is what I want. I want the bulk of them out of the judiciary. I want them out of legislatures. I want the bulk of them out of police work. I want them out of university presidentships. We cannot have anything approaching sex parity in numbers, in positions of authority, without losing civilization. In general, women are simply not built for this. Men are. It's the truth. I don't care that that upsets liberals. I don't care if it upsets you. I don't care how many of them scream misogyny at me. I've had 51 years of lying, wheedling, manipulative female evil performed on me and around me, and I'm immune to the crying and lying. I care about saving civilization. Women, if we keep going and letting you get away with this shit, you are going to experience real misogyny, real rape, real ownership of your body and your life by warlike men. That's what happens when civilization crumbles. You will get a vicious, violent patriarchy that you can't even conceive of. And you want a preview? Take a look at any Muslim country. Look at Afghanistan. Look at Iran. Look at Pakistan. Women have been making this happen. And if you keep it up, you're going to get your wish. Men like me are not your enemy, women. We are not your abusers. We are actually trying to protect you, starting with protecting you from yourselves. But if you can't see that, and if you continue to blithely betray your husbands, your sons, and the men that you claim to love, then you deserve what you get. You will lie in the bed you made. That is how the world works. And don't cry at me because I won't listen and I won't help. So am I radicalized? And if you agree with me, are you violent and radicalized? No. You and I have woken up from a long, magical enchantment. And for the first time in our lives, we have become normal.